Hello, viewers. We are back with another episode of the Ghosts Incorporated, and we bring you Medea. She is a Wiccan healer. That is, she practices Wicca to heal people of the problems, from their problems, and we are very happy to have her here with us. And we also have Maya, who has consented to be here and has been in touch with Medea. Medea, as we all know, was a Greek enchantress, and officially she is also the first witch. I don't know whether Medea would want to be called as a witch, but welcome to our show, Medea. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here. The pleasure is all mine. I'm doing good. How are you?
We are doing good as well. Thank you so much. So, Maya, how did you come across Medea?
Actually, I was going through a difficult time in my life, and I wanted to have some peace. Peace as in not only peace of mind, but also healing from within, and healing physically and mentally and psychologically, all of it. So I came to know Medea through a friend of mine. And when I had a word with her, it was not a process, it was not a session, it was not a counseling, anything of that sort. It was just a discussion that followed. And what exuded in the discussion was a lot of warmth. And she was the one who introduced me to the Wiccan healing, and she introduced me to meditation and how to find inner peace, and also to certain stones and elements of the earth with which we can connect and feel ourselves to be a part of the world we are residing in. So it was that, and the spirit connected, and the connection was very spontaneous.
So, Maya, that's very reassuring to know that healing can happen in different ways, about which we have talked. But here today we'll be talking to a healer. Theoretical knowledge is something else, and actually understanding it via somebody who practices is very different. So, Medea, my question is to you. How did Wicca find you, Medea?
As I told you, I was a breech baby. And so that was the first thing that was unusual about me. Then, and when I started growing up, I was about 4 months or 6 months old. When my mom realized that I was sensitive to flowers, especially red, pink, and big sized flowers. So one day she was standing under a tree bidding somebody goodbye, a guest of her who had come to visit her. And my mother did not notice, but the other lady who was standing just in front of her and facing towards me, I was in her lap. And she said that she has turned all red, and then they saw that the flowers were touching me and I had turned red.
Oh.
So that was the initial thing. Then I had the senses of sight and sound which others could not see. So slowly, then when I was 8, that was the turning point. When I was 8 years old, my father fell ill. I mean, he was diagnosed with high BP. That too, it was around 180 something. Like that, I don't remember. And the doctors had almost given up. And my mother, my family is a very liberal spiritual family. That simple religious practices that we do, they follow that. They are not into spirituality or Wicca or Tantra. But they are absolutely fine with my practices. And my father got well, and but then we realized that there was somebody in the family who was doing some black magic, right?
Okay.
uh, I
So
mean, there is nothing called
how was
black
that
magic.
discovered?
That was discovered by the word of mouth. It spread through the word of mouth. They came to know that the it was within the family,
Okay.
some family members,
Mm-hmm.
and like they were saying that my mother can do this, my mother can do that, and they were jealous of us. And then we realized that it was she, and she used to give us food. Suppose she has cooked something, we were in a shared joint household. She used to cook something and separately give us the food there, like not from that same utensil where she
Okay.
has kept it. Our utensil used to be separate. Means she mixed up something and she gave it to us. She used
Okay.
to give us prasad from different packets
Okay.
during puja and all. So I
Mm-hmm.
grew up seeing this. So, and I got inclined towards Tantra first. And slowly, I started. It was a matter of chance. Vika chooses you. It was a matter of chance that I met somebody, my guide, my mentor at
Mm-hmm.
that time. She is very famous. She is world famous, I guess. And then I was full fledged into Wicca, and then I learned what is Wicca, how what is all about Wicca. And then there itself I learned about these pagan stones which we use for healing. Not only stones, uh, there we learned about I learned about stones. But then again I got a client of mine who wanted to do a startup. He was working for a startup. It was his own startup, working on a startup,
Okay.
and that was based on alternative healing therapies. His belief was that modern day medicines, that is allopathy, which we call,
Mm-hmm.
they do not cure the disease.
Mm-hmm.
They just suppress the symptoms, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't cure it. The root cause is not cured. They don't go to the roots. They just superficially they make you feel better, but the
Mm-hmm.
disease stays. So how do we do that? So when we go back in time, and if we Vika is all about nature, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I learned about the stones from my mentor,
Mm-hmm.
and then from this startup we realized that we can use aromatherapy,
Mm-hmm.
because we can use sound therapy, we can use lights,
Mm-hmm.
because there are 7 chakras in the body, and each chakra is associated with with a particular part of your body. So if one part is suffering, then we have particular stones and lights and colors and sounds associated with that particular chakra. And uh, if we activate, balance that chakra, then the disease goes slowly. And meditation is one thing that heals your mind, that calms you down. And meditation is required for opening up and balancing the chakras. Whatever
Right.
I do, whatever I do, I can give you 1001 stones. But if you don't meditate and concentrate and focus on the stones and
Mm-hmm.
on that particular chakra linked with the stone, you won't be healed. You cannot heal yourself.
Medea,
So
I would
it's a
just interrupt you and take you back to your childhood. Do you think
uh
when your father was ill and later on it came to your ears that somebody was trying to harm your family, somebody within the
uh
family? So, is that when you realized that people could have certain magical powers and that could be used for?
everybody
That could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
used for
Continue, please
either
continue.
good, that could be used for both good and bad. Is that when you realize that?
See, I realized that, yes, I realized that there is dark magic, and which we called mane jadoo tona.
Right.
That is what we know it as.
Mm.
But as I grew up, I realized that we are all born with magic. The magic is within us. It's for us to discover that. And no, magic is not good or bad. The way we use it is either for good or bad. That is when the dark magic or black magic or white magic or gray magic, whatever you say, comes in. And
So,
see, even if I'm doing, say, suppose you come with a problem, it's not only about healing. Uh, Say you come with a problem that the other person is trying to harm me using black magic. So I do a protection spell on you. I do that. And what happens is when that person again tries to heal you, the protection spell that covers you, that goes back to that other person and hits him or her.
So if somebody is trying to harm me and I realize that, and I go to a Wiccan healer, the Wiccan healer can give me a shield which is going to bounce back the bad vibes to the sender.
To the sender.
So,
and what happens is that harms the sender. So what am I doing? Am I doing white magic or black magic? Because I'm protecting someone, at the same time I'm harming somebody. Because of my protective shield, somebody is getting harmed. So magic cannot be black and white.
So have you ever thought about what happened to the lady who was trying to harm your family? We've understood over our last few sessions that whoever practices black magic or does, cast spells which are not good for other people, gets it back on herself or himself. Have you ever seen that happening around you?
I'll tell you, my father fell ill, and for the first time when I was 8 years old, and then he was subsequently diagnosed with other diseases and everything, and he was treated. He led a royal life. Although we are from, you can say, just an upper middle class family, but we spent crores. I don't know where the money came from. How did I spend it? I don't know. It just happened. Maybe it's Wicca that helped me through. So he although he was suffering, he died peacefully. He was properly treated. But that lady, she fell. This happened with her mother also, because her mother was the one who taught her everything. She also fell from a rickshaw and broke her leg, and she was bedridden, and then she died. And this lady also, who was immediately related to her, our family. She was a part of our family. She also fell, broke her arms and legs. She was in the bed for 6 months. Her husband did not get her treated properly, and she was complaining. She did not get treatment, and she died of cardiac arrest. Without treatment.
So this is like karma reaching us in the same cycle of life that we are living now. And I'm very interested to know about the flowers and your deep connection with the flowers. So are you still attracted to red and big flowers as you were in your baby days?
My connection with the flowers is very peculiar. I mean, I feel attracted when they're like on the trees. But when I hold them, I get a different kind of feeling altogether. I mean, I get goosebumps. I don't know why. Say if I hold a lotus
Mm,
or a lily or
mm,
a jaba
mm,
or even a rose, a full bloomed rose,
mm.
if I hold it in my hands, if I'm holding the branch, it's fine. But if I hold the petals and the flower in my hand, if it touches me, I get a feeling that I should put it where it belongs.
Okay. So
So
you
this
know that the flower doesn't want to be plucked from it, the branches, that is.
actually, maybe that could be one reason, or
Mm,
maybe I have read it somewhere. If you have heard of Sri Aurobindo,
of course.
mother
Mm,
mother was his consort. I mean, in spiritually,
mm,
she was with her.
mm,
Mother said that she used to grow vegetables in the ashram, and
mm,
when she used to go, the vegetables which were ripe enough,
mm.
they used to communicate with her and used to say that you plucked me, and because my time is over, now I have to serve the mankind. So she used to pluck only those vegetables, pick up only those vegetables, and that used to be cooked in the ashram and served as prasad.
Right.
So
So
maybe that is
she
the
also had
reason.
this connection.
The nature, the
Yes.
nature. This is,
Yes. So,
And if I may add, mother had actually different names for the different flowers.
yeah,
She
she
had
did.
she used to call them as gratitude and prudence, and
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
virtues were, yeah,
yes.
different flowers were called by the names of different virtues.
That's right.
so, Medea, can you tell us about at least one experience of yours which you think is very special, where you healed a person and you felt extremely satisfied? Completely a client, maybe somebody you didn't know at all before, he or she landed up at your doorstep.
Okay, I'll tell you about an incident. It's not that I did not know her at all. I knew her, I had heard of her, and she suddenly had, she actually, and she was not very well to do also. She was staying at the place where my maid used to stay earlier, and she just came and said that my neighbor is complaining of a pain in her throat,
Okay.
suddenly, all on a sudden. Throat, now throat chakra, okay, that is
Mm,
the fourth chakra.
mm,
Okay, so and it's associated with a particular stone, a particular color.
mm.
And I said, I don't know. I mean, is she having cold or something like that? She said, no, she's not even able to drink water, and
Okay.
she does not have the money to go to a doctor
Mhm,
because that was COVID times.
mm,
So I said, okay, fine, you bring her to me. Let me see if I can do something about it.
mm,
And then I did the healing. Uh, the way I think
mhm,
so others whom I have healed, you must have spoken to.
mm,
Uh, they have described. I used the same procedure, but for only for that part because she had problem with that part only. And obviously, when I do a healing, I make it a point that I do it with the root chakra first, because unless and until you are grounded, your other chakras will not get activated. Grounding is the first and foremost thing. So, root chakra is all about grounding.
mm.
So I did the grounding part, and I did that fourth chakra healing. And it continued. I gave her the stone and I told her what to do and how to do. And she can do it at home. And if she's not comfortable doing it on her own, she can come and come to my place and take a half an hour session. But she should do it frequently.
Mm.
It took her at least 10 days because she was she did not understand all this. And I gave her the oils also and everything. I gave her everything, but she did not. She used to come. I used to give her half an hour sessions, therapy sessions. And then 10 days, she was normal. Slowly. After 10 days, she was completely normal. So it went. And not only that, her speech, her way of talking, that also changed. Everybody felt the difference. Like she had a very coarse voice, but suddenly it became smooth. And she used to speak logic. I mean, you can understand the standard, but now she was speaking sensible things and logic. So that was something. Even I was a little surprised. Like, okay, healing is one thing, that you cannot eat, drink, you have no symptoms of cough and cold or tonsillitis. But okay, fine, that is gone. But then you are talking logic and your voice quality has improved. So that was a bit of surprise for me as well.
So in fact, there was an internal grooming that happened, and that possibly reflected in her outside behavior, and so that is very important.
Yes, because I think it was not the throat chakra, it was the combination of the root chakra and the throat chakra. So that was the first and the fourth.
So Medea, besides the stones and the oil that you mentioned, what are the other tools that you use for your healing processes?
See, Wiccans, they do have wands, like I won't call myself only a Wiccan because I practice the craft. So I'll call myself a witch. And I have, so yes, witches, they do have wands, and they are known by several names nowadays. Earlier, there used to be a special kind of tree. From that branch, on a particular day, you used to take out that branch and make a wand out of it. But nowadays, time has changed. So we use different kind of wands. So we use those wands, we meditate, we put in our positive energy into it, our positive energy. See, we have a procedure of receiving a positive energy and giving a positive energy. These are two different procedures. So at times when we feel that the negativity is so high that we don't want to use our hands. Suppose somebody has been under a spell or something like that, and you have a fear that negativity might come to you if you get in contact with that person.
So if you touch that person, that negativity might come.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what you must have seen that in some cultures they don't touch the people while doing pranam.
Right.
They bend down and they bow their head and they touch the floor. They don't touch their feet.
Okay.
Have you noticed that?
Yes, of course.
Some cases. So that is the logic behind it, that you don't pull it. There are people who can take away your energy, your positivity. Okay. If I touch you, I can take away your positivity. If I am into black magic, practice black magic, they have that power. And at times what happens is the other person is so strong, or the spell is so strong that you might get the negative energy also.
So are you saying, sorry for interrupting you, but are you saying that if I am under a spell, I am person A, and I have come to you for healing, so you may not touch me because you are aware that I am surrounded by powers that are negative or vibes that are negative?
Depends on the intensity.
Okay.
Depends on the intensity. Depends. So
Alright.
if I feel that it's a light spell and I can easily get rid of it, I can see. Main tool is your brain, your mind. Mind is the main. Yes, concentration and putting in all your energy to first protect yourself. You you cast a spell to protect yourself, and then you heal the other person, right?
Okay.
So that it does not hit you back. The negativity does not come to you. And if it is very intense, that it might penetrate the protective layer that you have put, in that case, we prefer to maintain a distance. And we don't come in direct contact, because even if I'm holding the wand, the one end is touching me and the other end is touching the other person. But the wand is so powerful that the wand itself absorbs the negativity.
Okay. So witches and wands, they go together. We've always heard since our childhood, all stories had the witches wielding their wands. And so that is something that is familiar to us. But they were in storybooks. And here in the 21st century, I have you, Medea, talking to us about it. How do you feel about it yourself? To call yourself a witch, is it easy for you?
Yeah, it is. It comes naturally. It comes naturally.
Okay. So how do your friends look at you, or how do like your neighbors? How do they look at you? Do they think you are somebody? Are they afraid of you, or they think of you as somebody who they can come for help at any drop or die?
My friends, they know that I'm very helpful. My friends are totally okay with it. And there are people who are skeptical. I don't talk to them about this area. And my neighbors, they know, because I have been giving healing stones and healing therapies to them also. So they are okay with it.
No, Medea, there's a difference. Healing somebody and calling yourself a witch are totally different things, because there's always been a negative connotation to the word witch. We've heard of the good witch only, but she appears at the end of the story always. In between, there are many.
I think no. I told you, those people who are skeptical or critical about the term witch, I don't discuss with them.
Okay.
But my neighbors, they know that she practices the craft. She is a witch. A Wiccan who practices the craft is a witch. And a Wiccan may not practice the craft. She might be just involved in self-development, getting into higher consciousness. She is a Wiccan. She worships the nature. She doesn't practice, she doesn't get into the rituals and all that stuff. But I do the rituals also. So I call myself a witch, and people, even if they're negative, they have got positive results, even if they were initially. I don't know, because nobody dared to come and speak to me that, okay, she's a witch. But at the end of the day, when they were in problem, they landed up in my place and they got the results and they were fine with it. So it's all about when you see the results, your perception changes. It's all about perception.
Absolutely. It's all about perception. I completely agree to that. Have you ever turned away somebody and said, sorry, I cannot help you?
I didn't get you. Can you repeat the question, please?
Have you ever turned away anybody? Have you said, no, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to do what you want. Have you ever done that?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have. Because that person came to me because he got it back, because he did something to somebody and he got it back, and he wanted me to heal him. It was a him. And I said, nothing doing. I won't interfere with the laws of the nature. You got back what you deserved. So you better go to somebody who is willing to do it. I won't interfere with the way nature is working. I won't do that.
Okay.
Because
Medea,
his healing needed casting a spell. It was not about stones and all that. It needed casting a spell. And casting a spell, always, I told you, it has effects. If you give out something, you get back something. So
Right.
that person had already given out something and he got it back. That is the karmic law. And
Okay.
I cannot interfere with the karmic law. Wicca doesn't allow me.
Okay.
So I have turned up.
And how do you heal yourself? Or who heals you?
Meditation and activating my chakras and casting spells. That is how I heal myself.
Have
The
you
chakras-
ever felt threatened by any other practitioner or any other witch who wants to maybe take away the people that you help, or who come to you for help? Have you ever felt threatened yourself?
No, not in the sense you were telling. Yes, I felt threatened. I was threatened, but not in the way, not as because I have the healing powers and people are coming to me and all that. It was the initial days when I started this journey, and it's like somebody learns very fast, and somebody progresses very fast. Somebody are slow learners. And since I have been into this path, I have been into spirituality, and also I was picking up very quickly. So there were people, not everybody is good, not every Wiccan is a good person at heart. So the circle, there were people in the circle who wanted me out.
No, okay, fine. That's sad to know, because let us look at it as a classroom situation. There'll always be fast learners and there'll be slow learners, and people will always be jealous of whoever tops the class. Maybe that is something that happened to you. But in your profession, have you ever felt the powers of a more powerful witch? For lack of better words, I had to coin that phrase.
No, that's okay. There must be people who are more powerful than there has to be.
Have you ever felt threatened by a more powerful witch?
No, not that ways.
Okay.
Not that ways.
Okay.
Never.
So, but can we tell our listeners, Medea, that this is a path, a journey they have understood? And even if there is a practicing witch, she will always practice for the well-being of the people, for healing. Wicca is all about healing.
Yes, it is about healing your own self first. Unless and until you heal yourself first, you cannot heal others. So it's about healing. It's not, healing is a part of it. It's more than that. Maybe you have to do an episode 2 about it if you want to know about what Wicca is all about. What is more to Wicca than healing and casting spells?
Yes. Medea, but when you heal yourself, then your soul heals as well. Your karma possibly heals as well. So there won't be any negativity left in a person, right? A Wiccan would be a perfect person.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. See, one reaches perfectness when the crown chakra is opened.
Which is a very
you might
difficult
get powers,
thing. Yes.
Which is the ultimate thing. It is the ultimate thing. So, up to the third eye, opening the third eye chakra is a tough thing. Is a very tough thing. It takes years of practice for people. Somebody in a lifetime also cannot open the third chakra itself. I cannot understand, I cannot make out, I cannot foresee things, or I cannot Like looking at you, I cannot tell that what type of a person you are and all that. For that, you need to open your third eye. So if you reach up to third eye, you have reached a level. And but to be perfect, you have to open your crown chakra. So unless and until you have opened your crown chakra, you are not perfect. You cannot be perfect.
Right. My question was that essentially Wiccans would be good people because they're cleansing themselves constantly. Is that correct?
They're cleansing themselves constantly. If they're doing that for healing themselves and protecting themselves, but then again, they protect themselves and do harm to others. What do you say? Call that person?
True.
So I won't say that Wiccans are perfect people or good people. All Wiccans are not good people.
Okay. But okay. And so somebody whose third eye has opened, okay? I won't ask you whether yours has, but because that is something which is very private to you. Would they know everything about a person in front of them? Would they be able to read the mind of that person?
Reading the mind of a person is very difficult. If the third eye is open, you can read up to a level. To a level, you can get an overall perception, overall understanding of that person, and the psychology of that person, or the intentions of that person. See, like the way I told you, that person came, and the moment he entered, even normal people who does not practice Wicca, you will feel that when somebody comes to you, what happens is that you don't get a very good vibe from that person. Right. So that, and when the third eye is open, you can understand why you are not getting a good vibe.
Right. Okay, I understand. Thank you very much for being so very candid and so very honest with your answers and giving our listeners an opportunity to understand more about modern witches who are practicing healing and trying to protect people. But remember, there may be people who are casting spells from which one needs to be protected. So we have a warning there that there might be witches who are also not good Wiccans. Thank you very much, Medea. And
thank you. It was a pleasure being here. It was very nice talking to you. Hope all the listeners learn something and understand something. And if they have any doubts, they can always put in comments and questions. And I think we can reply to that.
Okay, thank you so much. Listeners, please stay connected. Keep subscribing, sharing, and liking our channel. Stay connected.